Are they going to fight in Washington? If you want to give odds, I would say it's about 100 to 1. Yes, they're going to fight. The Republicans have got an agenda, and they're trying to make nice with the president. The president basically says, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, whether you like it or not. Terry?
Yeah, that fight does seem inevitable, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, the Republicans have won the election battle at the ballot box, but now they could face a political war with the president. David Brody brings us the story from Washington.
Slow and steady, those are the words you'll hear often from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, who say that after the GOP's tidal wave in November, they will work with President Obama when they can, but they're also eager and determined to dismantle much of his liberal agenda.
Of course, we're so eager, we'd love to go for the whole enchilada, if you will. I think what you're going to do is see us be smart about it and go after some of the components that need to be dealt with first.
Those components include passing a bill this week that would finally start building the XL Keystone Pipeline. Republicans say it's a job creator. Liberals call it an environment killer. Republicans also plan to try and dismantle Obamacare piece by piece. Votes on that start this week, too.
We think it's a terrible piece of legislation. We're certainly going to be voting on that if we can put either repeal or take out pieces of it, like destroying the 40-hour work week, the medical device tax, the individual mandate.
Republicans will also push to cut off funding so President Obama can implement his controversial executive order on illegal immigration. They'll also try to stop his plans for better relations with Cuba by going after the money that's allocated for it within the Department of Homeland Security. It's leaving the White House in a spot that they're not used to. For the president's first 6 years, he was setting the agenda. Now, he's having to play defense against the GOP's plans. Republicans are about to put the president on the spot. And Tennessee Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn tells CBN News that the new Republican majority will act. And after that, it's up to the president.
What we're committed to do is a right-of-center conservative agenda and move it forward, move it through both chambers, and then send it to the president's desk. Then he has the opportunity to decide whether to sign it or to veto it, send it back to us.
With the Republican Party expected to press and challenge the president on numerous issues, expect Barack Obama to get out the veto pen more often than not. In just the last 6 years, he's only vetoed 2 bills, but that is expected to change in a hurry. David Brody, CBN News on Capitol Hill.
David didn't mention that the glooming presence of Harry Reid in the Senate. He had it set so that he didn't let any votes come to the floor which would in any way embarrass the Democrats or Obama. And so nothing got done. He literally didn't do anything. They didn't pass a budget. They didn't take action. They didn't have debate. They didn't have amendments to bills. They had nothing. Year after year after year, Harry Reid just sat on it and didn't move. Now all of a sudden you have a body that's like the founders intended to debate and discuss legislation and to get various points of view. The thing is, they put through what was called the nuclear option in terms of the nomination of, well, judges and other officials. And if the Republicans are smart, they'll keep that. And so it won't take 60 votes to get something through. It'll only take a majority, which is what they need. But they have it now, and there'll be enough Democrats who'll go along with them so that they'll begin to get things passed. They'll begin to clip back on the immigration excesses of the president. But they're doing it smart. Little by little, the American people don't want a huge battle in Washington. They don't want these guys fighting. The American people want them to get together and work for the country. And that's what we hope for, that these people are elected to represent the nation. But unfortunately, the extremists on either side think they're representatives of that small group, and that's it. They're there to represent all the people. It's the People's Congress. Well, we'll see what will happen, but I am not terribly sanguine about how they're going to do. Well, while the president and Congress see if they can work together outside the Beltway, Americans have been getting some very good news at the gas pump. Ephraim Graham has that story.
Pat, the plunge in oil prices is indeed good news for drivers, with a barrel of oil falling below $50. But the stock market has not been taking it well, kicking off the week in a free fall. The Dow Jones dropping more than 300 points Monday, and today Asian markets are down too, falling for a second day in a row. With oil prices hitting a 6-year low at less than $50 a barrel, some traders are worried that's an indication of a weakening world economy. In Texas, a state driven largely by the oil industry, there are some concerns about how the falling trend of oil prices could impact the local economy.
We are going to see job losses in 2015. They're not going to be anywhere near what we saw in the Great Recession or what we saw in '86, but we will see job losses this year.
The low prices are good for refining along the Houston Ship Channel and Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, market analysts say they expect stocks to rise in the months ahead, and drivers are still enjoying gas prices, Pat, in some areas under $2.
It's amazing, Efren. It really is amazing. But, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say they can't survive, the oil industry can't survive at $50 a barrel. It just can't happen. The producers in Russia, the producers in the Middle East, the producers in Nigeria and others have got to have oil in the 80, 90, and many of them well over $100 a barrel, or else they lose money. And so they'll start cutting back production. They won't produce, and there'll become shortages. Before long, the price of oil has got to go back up again. And in the meantime, though, enjoy it. I mean, it's like having a special gift from the government. It's like having a tax reduction. But my heart bleeds for those in the oil industry. The workers, they're going to be laid off by the thousands. A lot of projects will be mothballed. People who are involved in drilling, and those have to do with geology and all the whole chain. It's a major industry. Lots and lots of people are going to be out of work. So that's what happens when these things in a free economy. So it'll be good for some, but long range, it's bad. The fact that we are producing a lot, that's good. The fact that people aren't buying it, that's bad. And it's the bad part that can hurt us. Well, there's something else that's coming. It's a little chillier here in the wonderful Virginia Beach area, which is so warm and pleasant and happy. And Terry's here just, I mean, she would never think of wearing a fur coat.
I don't wear a fur coat.
No.
Don't get those people after me. No, sir, mine's cloth.
A nice cloth. You don't need a heavy coat. Well, I should have said, I'm sorry. But it was about 31 here.
It is going to be cold.
Wind chills of minus 50. They've cut out of all kinds of outdoor sports because they just can't stand.
Well, you need to be very wise. You know, people who live in that northern clime know that, but for the rest of us,
I have been, you know, in a coat, a blazer, tie, and a scarf. I've been in minus 20-degree weather up in New England. It doesn't feel bad at all, but here it would be terrible. Well, let's talk about it. It's the polar vortex you've heard about, and it's coming on us strong. Ephraim.
Pat, a blast of Arctic air is plunging temperatures across the eastern two-thirds of the country this week. The Plains and Great Lakes saw the cold wave through Monday come through. Today, a second wave, even colder air mass is expected to move into the Plains, Midwest, and East. Forecasters say it'll stick around until Thursday, dropping temperatures 10 to 35 degrees below average. Our Caitlin Burke has this story.
Much of the nation today is being told to stay home. Extreme cold and blinding snow resulting in deadly conditions.
It was just the visibility that was really bad. You had to go by the markers. You could barely see the exit signs.
It's the coldest air of the season so far, triggering concerns about frostbite, closing schools, and sending wind chills plummeting. In Wisconsin, at least 2 people are dead from exposure to the cold, and more than 30 school districts are closed.
We have to take each one of them independently because we do have the student safety in mind first and foremost. So if the temperatures are such that we need to cancel school, we're going to cancel school.
In Minneapolis, it feels like negative 30 degrees. At that temperature, frostbite can occur in as little as 10 minutes.
There really is no time to spare. If you're not dressed appropriately and the temperature is low and there's a huge amount of wind, your body temperature will drop and you could get frostbite and hypothermia.
Chicago firefighters are battling frozen fire hydrants. Crews there are out in force to keep them clear. The wind chill there making it feel like 20 degrees below zero. Up to 2 feet of snow is expected from the Great Lakes to western New York, and there's no relief in sight. Forecasters say temperatures will remain well below normal for the rest of the week. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
And Pat, I think here in Virginia, they're talking 17 degrees come Thursday.
That's what it is. You got to turn the water on so your pipes don't freeze. I think, you know, I want to write a book. It's called An Inconvenient Truth about how warm our planet is becoming. Maybe it'll be a bestseller. Maybe I'll get the Nobel Prize.
You are rubbing salt in the wound.
Okay. Hey, a month or so ago, we had the privilege of interviewing Sharyl Attisson, a very charming lady, very articulate, and she'd written a book about her travails. Well, she hadn't just stopped at writing a book. She's going beyond that, and Ephraim has that story.
Well, Pat, the former CBS News investigative reporter Sharyl Attisson has filed a $35 million lawsuit against the Obama Justice Department over the hacking of her computer. Attisson is accusing the administration of, quote, unauthorized and illegal surveillance of computers and phones. She says the intrusion began when she was investigating the Fast and Furious gun-walking scandal and the terrorist attacks on the American embassy in Benghazi. The Justice Department has repeatedly said it was not involved in hacking her computer or any of her equipment. Well, as 70 million baby boomers age and retire, the demand for health care and health care workers is soaring. It's one reason why Regent University has begun a partnership with Eastern Virginia Medical School. A new program will allow qualified Regent undergraduate students to receive early admittance into the school.
It helps us to accomplish our mission of Christian leadership, educate a new area, a whole group of students. We've seen a huge upsurge of applications of students interested in a program, and even existing students now are already interested as well.
There's a wide spectrum of healthcare professionals now. It used to be a doctor and a nurse essentially, then radiation technicians and other healthcare professionals that would support the clinical program. But now there are more opportunities to deliver the care.
Regent recently launched a new biophysical science degree program to meet the growing demand for healthcare professionals. Healthcare spending now accounts for 18% of the nation's gross domestic product. Pat, yet another feather in Regent's cap.
I'm just delighted. We're pushing hard at Regent, and you're hearing about it, but Regent will now, with this is another 5 degree programs, and it will, right now we have 3 medical schools in the state of Virginia, and a 4th is coming online from Virginia Tech. But it's been the University of Virginia, the Medical College of Virginia, and the Eastern Virginia Medical School. The one here, the Eastern Virginia, is reputed in terms of clinical activity to be the leader. It's one of the best in the country. So we are simply thrilled to have a articulation agreement where the students at Regent will be able to study preliminary courses dealing with healthcare management and nursing and pre-med and things like that. Five different courses, and the students who take that will then have preferred access, or I should say that pass that will have a preferred access into the Virginia Medical School, which is hard to get in. It's a very, very selective program. So it's a win-win for everybody, and I'm delighted to be associated with that outstanding medical school. And the president's a good guy. He is really sharp. He was at Drexel in Philadelphia, and I think it's going to be a good program. But right now, Regent is on track. We have about 6,500, I want to say, students at this point in time at Regent. By next fall, the plan is to have 9,000 students, and by the next year, 15,000 students. So that it's growing very rapidly.
Leap, I guess.
There's 70 course degree programs now. There will probably be as many as 100 before the next year or two is out. And it is just an exciting place. There's a sense of momentum and excitement that's coming in Regent University. So I point out, if you want to find a really outstanding school, and we have 8 prestigious degrees, certificates certifications, excuse me, certificates or certification for. You know, we've got one for psychology and for the law and for business, etc. So it's a tremendous school, and you can participate. There's the number. It's on the screen, 1-800-210. So enrollment is coming in for the spring term, and then another one for the fall, and it's about full up for the spring, but there's more room for people who want to call. So. Online or on campus.
New efforts are underway in Indiana and Wyoming to protect religious freedom in cases involving same-sex marriage. The steps come after judges struck down same-sex marriage bans in both states last year. Indiana lawmakers say legislation is now needed to protect the rights of small business owners. Otherwise, florists, bakers, and wedding chapel owners in their state could be forced to provide services for gay weddings, even if it violates their deeply held religious beliefs. That's already happened in other states. And in Wyoming, a new bill would exempt clergy from being forced to perform same-sex weddings. The lawmaker proposing that bill says it's possible some judge at some point could try to force pastors to violate their religious beliefs about marriage. He says it's time to take the issue out of the hands of a judge. The family of gospel legend Andre Crouch is asking for your prayers. The Grammy Award-winning singer went to the hospital Monday with serious health complications. His sister Sandra issued a news release saying her brother was in the hands of a wonderful medical team and thanked everyone for their prayers, but she did not specify what illness Crouch was battling. Crouch has been in the music industry for more than 4 decades and serves as co-pastor at New Christ Memorial Church in California. Remember, you can always get the latest news from CBN by going to our website, cbnnews.com.